2020 was a year of changes and challenges to our daily lives, brought on by the pandemic, of course. A recent American Psychological Association study found 65% of adults say the amount of uncertainty in the nation causes them stress. While no one can forecast exactly how 2021 will unfold, there are actually experts who not only predict what's possible, but are optimistic about it. Erica Orange is a futurist and partner with the Future Hunters. The consulting firm helps clients in tech, pharmaceuticals, and government identify trends that could affect businesses. Erica, welcome. Happy New Year. Thanks so much for being with us this morning.
Happy New Year. Thank you so much for having me.
So after the COVID restrictions finally lift, what areas, so many areas of business and the world have been affected, have been changed, at least in the short term. What do you expect will be permanently changed by this?
Yeah, so there's one very important thing to note, and that is the fact that we are being shot through what we call the COVID Accelerator. It's like we're being shot through a cannon, and almost overnight, global circumstances have changed dramatically. And this is really setting the stage for everything that we see happening when it comes to the future of work. There are two critical points within this COVID Accelerator. The first is that whole industries, whether it's in health and medicine, retail, hospitality, they are being forced to pivot in real time and permanently in response to these unprecedented conditions. And businesses are also being forced to completely re-engineer everything from their supply chains to their operations to even their entire workforces to prevent future disruptions like COVID from putting them out of existence. Well, now, the second trend, oh, yes, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to pick up what you were saying about work, because I feel I was shot out of a cannon right into my TV room. And I don't like working from home. I know a lot of people do, and it certainly has been a game changer. What do you think is going to happen? I'm glad we're back in the studio, but what do you think is going to happen when it comes to working remotely in 2021? Is this going to continue?
I think it absolutely is going to continue, but I think we're going to see the hybridization of work. So we're going to continue to see a distributed workforce.
Even when we go back to normal, Erica, even you've got the vaccine and everybody's healthy and everybody's fine, you think we will still be working from home is what I mean?
Yes, even after we get the vaccine, people are still going to be nervous about going into a physical office. Although at the same time, those that do have to report to a physical office, they're going to need that space to be redesigned and reinvented. So what I mean by that is the fact that we need to rethink what that physical workplace even looks like. People are going to want to be spaced out. They might want sophisticated technologies like HVAC systems or even self-cleaning elevator buttons so that they're more comfortable going into these spaces. And this is going to be even more pronounced in the major cities, where people are much more crammed together. We're also going to be seeing many more people relying on automation. They're going to want less kind of human-to-human touch points and want robots or sophisticated AI to come in and fill that void so that they are more comfortable going about their day-to-day lives.
Well, Erica, I want to talk about the future of cities for a second, because if people are going to be working from home or there's going to be a distributed workforce, as you say, what does that mean for the many thousands of restaurants and shops selling coffee and a quick snack on the way to work or a salad at lunch? I mean, there's an entire business infrastructure set up around people going to the office for at least 8 hours a day.
Just like how work is going to be completely reinvented and reimagined, we too have to reinvent and reimagine our physical cities. Transportation and infrastructure are going to go through tremendous changes. And you mentioned restaurants and even just going to a coffee shop. Being based in New York City, I see a lot of these proprietors having to reinvent how it is that they reach out to workers when they aren't coming into a physical office. It's why the entire supply chain is being disrupted. That's what I mean when I say entire operations need to be rethought, because we're not going to be commuting in the same way, going in and returning home at 5. We're going to be seeing this non-linearity of work when essentially time and space are becoming kind of more muffled, and we're not going to be experiencing life and work in the same manner.
Erica, what about travel? For many of us, it's still hard to imagine getting on a plane again. When that finally happens, is it going to be different, do you think?
It's going to be different, and I see it playing out on both ends of the spectrum. And what I mean by that is we're going to see the growth of high-tech travel, and on the other end, we're going to see the growth of low-tech travel. So on the high-tech end, we see many more people being comfortable using these blended reality platforms, whether it's augmented reality or virtual reality, to immerse themselves in these far-flung places that they can't go to now, whether it's nature halfway across the world so that they can immerse themselves in something that is sensory and kind of delights all of our senses, but you can do it from the comfort of your own home. On the low-tech side, we're seeing many more people engage in kind of nostalgic acts of travel. They are packing up the family into an RV. They are taking cross-country trips. They are visiting the national parks. They are kind of going back to basics and just engaging in much more simplistic acts of travel.
All right.
So we're seeing both of these happen at the same time.
All right, very interesting. Like the headlamps on that RV, you've let us see a little bit into the future, just enough to keep going forward anyway. Erica Orange, thank you very much.